is Sarah Dubé, and I am one of the producers, writers, and an actress on Either Way, our new movie. And I'm here with Cameron Dubé and Megan Pidgeon. So let's start with, what are you guys' roles in this movie?
I am the writer, director, editor, producer, as well as a handful of other things.
And I was one of the writers and producers, and I helped with the audio and graphic design as well.
Yeah, you did a lot of the graphic design. How was
Actually,
that?
I did all of it.
Yeah, you did
A lot
all
of
it. And there's a lot to do. How was it?
Well, I mean, graphic design is my day job, so it's something that I'm used to. I had a lot of fun with inventing new posters and concepts to kind of relate with this movie.
You had a little bit more like freedom with what to do because it wasn't necessarily, you don't have a boss, let's say.
Yeah,
which would probably be nice.
I don't have, we actually have 4 working posters that we're actually going to be selling on the day of the premiere.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
You did a really good job on all of them, and I'm so excited for everyone to see those. And then as far as Cameron goes, how was it working with everybody? You worked with non-actors, you worked in your hometown, there's a lot of barriers. How was that?
Yeah, it was, it definitely felt like climbing a mountain. And I've done a lot of things as an artist, music, short films, documentaries. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
The greatest challenge in so many different ways, from the writing process. I've never written a feature before, so that was already just an interesting thing to do. And then scripting it, and then scheduling it out with people who have jobs, people who have lives.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most challenging, trying to get everyone together.
Lining things up, man. Getting the locations, props, everything that is involved with pre-production, and then starting producing the thing, taking 2 months longer than we thought it would take to film. Yeah. And then the editing process was crazy. Mm-hmm. And, so crazy that I had to like chip away, a few hours a day for 5-6 months. That was just like,
that's insane.
And it felt like I was taking baby steps every day, like these tiny little journey of 1,000 miles type thing. Yeah. Like just take one step, and then 6 months later you have a movie. It's crazy.
One of the things that I really love about all of us working together is that we kind of keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
Where if it was just one person working on this movie, I don't think it would have gotten done.
No, not at all.
It is nice having all the group chats too, where it's like, okay, I need you to do this by this day. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That's nice to have.
And we all build on each other as well.
Yeah, I think we all play to our strengths too. Like yourself being a graphic designer and that being like your life is such an asset to the film, obviously.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
That's crazy.
And then,
made that. Dude.
And then even yourself, like giving you free reign to just write and be weird and be out of the box. And as a character too, the character you play, just kind of being out. Kind of just like...
It was like perfect. I had the weirdest character, but it worked out so well for me. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then as far as... So neither of you act in the movie. You're both kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how was it working with non-actors to get back into...
Yeah, definitely. The non-actor thing is definitely tough because, I think people assume, and I've done a little bit of acting myself, and I thought it would be easy, right? Mm-hmm. Just reciting lines. But you actually, it seems obvious, but you have to act like you don't know what you're about to say. Mm-hmm. But you know everything you're about to say for the next 5 minutes, and you have to act like it just came to mind, by the way, this line, even though you memorized it. Mm-hmm. So, it's interesting to work with people and kind of just stripping it down to the fundamentals of acting to begin with, and then going from there. Because I kept having to tell Courtney, because she has almost no experience on camera, saying, I don't want you to feed me the line. I want you to be the person. Mm-hmm. The line comes secondary. Be the person, right? So when she comes out the car and she's anxious and all this stuff, it's like, that's what I want. I want to see the anxiety before I hear the line, right?
Yeah.
And so just stripping it down to the fundamentals with non-actors kind of did a good job. I think, too, they didn't have any rigid teaching to get through or to get past.
Yeah, we didn't have nothing.
Nothing. So in a weird way, it's kind of they're moldable. They're malleable. They don't have this like, I have all this acting experience and I play a certain type. Mm-hmm. They don't have any of that. They just So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and one of the other interesting things is because none of these people are full-time actors, we did make just a very comfortable environment for them to kind of, it's okay to mess up a take. Like there will be more takes. It's okay. And because again, we're a friend group.
Luckily, yeah.
It's very comfortable, so we can kind of mess with each other and just keep things on the right track.
Yeah, I think with Cora, that was an interesting scenario because I did not know Cora. I don't think any of us did. Like, we briefly met her, and you guys met her years
once,
ago.
Weirdly, yeah. It's so weird how it all comes around because we're from a small town. Like, I knew her from, like, years ago, and I haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah, so I think that was an interesting dynamic, like, becoming friends with somebody during the project, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all worked together, like, a lot, and you guys worked together before on a different project, so it's interesting probably for you guys to work together again. Clearly it went well.
Yeah.
It went very well, yeah.
Just a step further, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as far as working in Chatham, because we're all from Chatham, how was that, keeping the location in Chatham and our hometown?
Yeah, and even to take that a step further, for myself, more personally, I brought it to my aunt and uncle's place, which I grew up there. So it was kind of cool to just stick to your roots and like work with what you have. Honestly, that's really what it was, is working with what you have. Because I guess with indie filmmaking, the first thing you got to know is, do I have this location available? Do I have this thing available? It's like, you don't want to write a script about a car exploding or something. It's like, you don't have that. Write what you do have. And it essentially just started with hometown. This is what we have. So.
Yeah. I just love the fact that I can say, oh, we filmed over there. That's so cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that, other people who watch the movie will be like, oh, I recognize that place. It's from there. That place is from there, which is really cool. And then as far as writing, you guys, obviously we're all writers, but you guys were the two that wrote the actual script. So how was that? You guys worked together on that, which is exciting.
Yeah, we worked back and forth on that. We had already made an outline with that. Well, you were part of the outlining process as well. It was really just a matter of fully fleshing out what we had already, kind of the beats that we had laid out already. So it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Yeah.
No, it worked out really well, just going back and forth on the program, and you do this scene, I do that scene. We edit each other's scenes. We get a second perspective on like, those two lines do not flow together. Let's try something else, and
switch it up.
So on and so forth. Even yourself, I mean, it's not written in the credits or anything, but you had a piece of one scene.
One scene that...
and it was the one your sister was in.
Yeah, Gabe and Courtney at the river.
Yeah, because I remember we were doing the story outline, and you just took over, and you started just like saying what Catherine would say in the way that she would say it. And I was like, that's so perfect. And so, we had your help with that scene. That worked really well. So yeah, it's pretty smooth, honestly, very smooth. There weren't many hiccups in pre-production. I think once we started recording, that's when, you run into so many roadblocks and all these things,
Because it's like, okay, let's do this, but the day before it's like, oh, wait, we can't. This place isn't available where we imagined doing it. Where are we going to do it now?
Yeah, or the time of day, or it's raining, or all that,
We were talking about this earlier, how we wanted it to come out in the summer. That's what you're expecting. You're expecting kind of to make we wanted to film it in the fall. And it wanted it to come out in the summer, but obviously that's not what's going on. But it ended up working out really well, I think.
Yeah.
And it has the right vibes. It has the summery vibes, which I like.
Yeah.
And as far like...
The interesting thing about the script, Cedric knows this, is I actually wrote it in mind that Anthony's in a blizzard. So that was the original idea.
Really?
Yeah, like actually, and she's freezing cold, and there's these two houses, and she's just like, either way, I'll go to one of them. So she picks the one, and it changes the course of the rest of the story. That was kind of the original.
Let's also mention that the entire writing process, Anthony was a boy. The entire time.
Until like the last minute.
On the script, it's he, him.
Yeah, we changed it. As we were reading it through, it was cross out he, put her, cross out this, put this, which is like, just shows how flexible you have to be when you're indie, like, low budget film.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you gotta roll with the punches. Like, it was a kind of a lack of actors that we needed on sets, and we had Cora, who was willing and able to play this role, and she really stepped up.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. She did great. And yeah, we kept the name Anthony. Reason why, I don't know. I don't know if you guys know.
Why not?
But it kind
Why
of
not?
works.
It works really well.
Kind of works now. Yeah.
It suits her low key now that I've heard it so many times. As far as expectations go from the beginning, because we started with Cameron having this really random idea. How did that come to you?
I was actually on my way to your house. We were working on a different movie that just fell through. Whatever, it happens. On my way to your place, and that's when I kind of concretely wrote down the first scene of Anthony in the middle of nowhere in a blizzard.
That's
at the time
crazy.
comes
in a
across.
blizzard.
I know.
can't
And I was just in the back of a truck after work. I'd got done a shift. I was house painting, and yeah, just wrote it down. And I just had this vibe of like something's off. Main character enters this scenario and doesn't quite feel right. None of the characters are telling the truth, and I don't know why. What's this about? And that was kind of the vibe where, as an audience, you would identify with the main character and discover what the heck is going on along with the main character at the same time. And that's kind of all it was. And then, I found a way to connect every single character somehow. Like all these threads would come together, and that's when I brought it to you guys. When I was like, okay, I've set up this whole thing. It's really intense. Now, where do we go?
Yeah. And then how did you find out about it, actually? I don't even know.
So I had worked with you guys in the past on a couple of different projects, and you actually showed me the script of the. Well, it was pretty rough at that time.
Yeah,
but,
I had scripted the first scene, so dialogue in all scenes. And
yeah. And I will admit, the first time I read it, I don't think I got it.
I remember you saying that. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as more and more time went on, things started to kind of click into place. Like as we were writing out the different beats and that sort of thing, it's like, okay, I'm getting it. Yeah, it's coming together. This is really interesting.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah. We in the writing process had to understand the story for ourselves
Yeah.
a little bit.
You can't tell a story you don't understand.
Yeah. One day we'll have to do like a whole, I don't even know, explain the whole story before.
Absolutely.
It's so different than what it turned out to be, but it ended up working out. And as far as post-production, how's that going?
Yeah, so the post-production was crazy. It was a lot of tedious work, and editing it's a fine art, It's lingering on a certain shot for an amount of time, and should I cut here? Or even we took 15 takes of something, which one do I use?
Right.
Little things like that. And then, that's just rough cut. Then you're getting into color grading. You could take a grade into a million different directions. Do I want it to be purple light? Do I want it to be contrasted? Do I want it, how do I want to present this scene? And I would watch some of my favorite movies and some of the color that I like and figure that out. But it really got into like this. I was on a train when I started streaming my edits on my YouTube channel. I would just hit stream. Couple nerdy filmmakers would come in, we'd geek out about stuff, and I'd be editing the whole time. And it really, having 5 or 10 people expecting me to stream my edits made me edit for 3 hours a day.
Right.
So I'd come in 3 hours a day solid, working on this. And yeah, I remember I started streaming when it was 120 days left. It was like 125 days until the premiere. I had a little countdown on the screen. And now it's, 30-something days. Just crazy. So I streamed for a good 2 months, and then eventually all the color grading, all the effects, all the sound design, everything that was involved in the project, it kept crashing. So I cannot stream anymore. My computer is going to explode.
Oh, no.
Well, it's a big project.
Wow.
It's a huge project.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we started working on soundtrack, and right before Christmas, I started learning violin. I didn't know why. I was just inspired to learn the violin, and I would...
It's super impressive that you just learn violin on a whim, by the way. Like, oh yeah, I just picked it up. Yeah.
Anybody can do it if they were really into it. Like I obsessed. I was like 3 hours a day, and I would track my timing. 3 hours here, 2.5 hours there. Maybe one of the days I had 3.5 hours. I would track how many minutes I spent playing because I just wanted to I don't know. It was a challenge, I suppose. And I did not know the reason until I was fiddling around and then I found the theme for the song. The dun, 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 dun.
Oh no, it's stuck in my
I
head.
found that theme and I was like, oh, this is why I learned. This is all along. I did not know it, but I learned the violin so I can really feel out this soundtrack. And it really is a feeling, because I could have hired somebody, I could have bought music, you know, we could have whatever, but being in Victoria's mind and playing the theme and hearing those haunting notes, and like it just changes the whole perspective on it. And yeah, it's a haunting, suspenseful, epic, beautiful soundtrack, and I can't wait for people to watch the film and just get the full experience, you know.
And it always kind of amazes me how music soundtracks just kind of, they tie the whole thing together. They tie it together in just a little bow, and it just completes it, at least in my mind.
No, it does. Yeah, it's that cherry on top. I don't know how else to put it. You know, like this film, as far as it looks, as far as the actors are performing it, and the story is one thing. Add the theme music, and it's complete. It's like Star Wars without the soundtrack. How could you, you know?
You don't even realize, because how often do you see a movie that doesn't have sound? You never do. But
It's
then
very rare.
when you like see it before versus after, the difference, it like changes the whole movie.
Absolutely.
But, yeah. Anyways, I'm blabbering on now. Do you guys have anything you want to say before I finish here?
Come see our movie.
Yeah, come see the movie May 10th.
Please.
Any was there anything else? I can't remember.
That was all the questions.
That was it, right? Yeah.
That was solid as fuck. That was great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right.
We did it. We made a movie.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you come see our movie. I would love to see you guys there May 10th, and there'll be more in the description down below if you're interested in coming out to see it. I hope to see you there.
Woo!